Hello! This is the third episode in the series Philosophy of Two Universes, How to Become More Flexible and Stronger in the Chaos of Life. Ready for transformation? Let's go. Flexibility in the context of the philosophy of two universes represents not just an adaptive ability, but a fundamental existential principle. It is the ability of consciousness to switch between different modes of perception and interpretation of reality without losing integrity and authenticity. Cognitive flexibility. Cognitive flexibility manifests in the ability to quickly restructure mental models in response to changing circumstances. This includes switching between different tasks without losing efficiency, finding unconventional solutions in problematic situations, adapting to new conditions and uncertainty, integrating contradictory information into a coherent picture. A real example of cognitive flexibility. Businessman Warren Buffett demonstrates cognitive flexibility. During the 2008 financial crisis, he quickly restructured investment models, integrating contradictory market data, which allowed Berkshire Hathaway not only to survive, but to grow. Existential flexibility. At a deeper level, flexibility represents an existential openness to the multiplicity of possibilities of existence. It is the ability not to fixate on one interpretation of reality, but to remain open to different ways of being in the world. Existential flexibility includes tolerance for uncertainty and the paradoxical nature of existence, readiness to revise fundamental beliefs, the ability to live in a mode of becoming rather than static being, integration of opposites without resolving them in synthesis. A real example of existential flexibility. Nelson Mandela, after 27 years in prison, revised his beliefs about revenge, integrating opposites, hatred and reconciliation, which allowed him to become president and unite South Africa, living in the becoming of a new nation. For male development, it is important to know and consider the narrative of this episode, because flexibility as a philosophical principle teaches a man not to break under the pressure of life, but to evolve, developing cognitive ability for quick adaptations and existential openness to changes. This prevents rigidity, which leads to failures in career, relationships, and self-identification, and instead forms a resilient leader capable of integrating contradictions, restructuring in crises, and growing through uncertainty, which is the essence of the transition from an impulsive boy to a wise, authentic man. In the next episode, we'll break down how to squeeze the maximum out of situational reality through full presence, creative extraction of opportunities, and super situational thinking, turning limitations into advantages for personal growth. Subscribe so you don't miss the continuation of the series Philosophy of Two Universes. For you, a second. For the channel, development. For you, the path to yourself.